Hey guys, how's it going? Jose here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Before I start, I want to say happy holidays to each and every one of you. I hope you guys are having great Christmas time with your family. And I also know that a lot of you guys have a brand new Xbox One X and a spanking new 4K HDR TV. So this is going to be like a ultimate guide for you to set up your Xbox for the first time. In this case, I have the Samsung Q7FN, but keep in mind that this Samsung works with the Q6FN, Q7, Q8, and Q9, and also the NU8000. So if you have either one of those TVs, this ultimate guide is going to be very helpful to you. Now, throughout the year, I reviewed different TVs from the TCL R6, the VCO series, the Sony X900F, NU8000 from Samsung. So I'm going to be doing those videos in the future, the ultimate setup, how to set it up with your Xbox. So if you're interested in that, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell as well. So welcome to the channel, guys. Let's do this. Alright, so the first thing you notice after you connect your Xbox to your brand new 4K Samsung TV is that the TV will auto detect your Xbox. Now this is good and bad. The good thing is because whenever you turn on or off your TV, your Xbox will also turn on or off. Now the bad thing I see about this is because whenever I turn on the TV and I don't want to use my Xbox, the Xbox will still turn on. This is kind of annoying sometimes. So if you want to turn that option on, you're going to go into source. Okay, remember source. Then we're going to go into the right all the way to universal remote. Now over here, we're going to click on this, then select Xbox One, enter, and you can delete this. That way you won't be able to turn on or off your Xbox anymore with this remote controller. This is kind of, I have it on because I do use it for the most part, but if it's something that you don't want to have, then this is how you turn this off. Now over here, we're going to jump into settings right away. Picture mode, no, we're going to go into general. Over here in general, we're going to go into echo solution. Make sure you turn off ambient light detection, otherwise your TV brightness is going to be going up and down depending on the brightness of the room that you have in. So you want to get the ultimate brightness levels when you're playing, especially with HDR. So make sure you turn this one off. All right. So now we're going to go to external device manager. Over here, we have the AnyNet Plus CEC. This is good if you want to use your TV remote controller to control other devices, especially soundbars, and in this case, the Xbox One X as well. So I have this one turned on. Now over here, we're going to go into game mode settings. I have this one in automatic. I will explain to you why in the future, but this is how I have it. You have the option to have it on all the time or to turn it off. But in my case, I'm going to leave it in auto. Now over here we have Game Motion Plus. This setting is grayed out for me right now because I am using FreeSync. Now Game Motion Plus is game motion interpolation with motion interpolation with game mode. What it does is just interpolates the frames to make it look like a more of a 60 frames per second game or 120 hertz game, depending on how you set this one up. I'm going to leave probably a card on top of this or a link in the description to another video where I explain more in detail about this option and how it affects your input lag too. So in this case, I'm using FreeSync Ultimate. I'm using Ultimate even though you have the option for basic or off, but Ultimate is the one that covers hertz from 48 hertz to 60 hertz. That means games that run from 48 frames per second up to 60 frames per second. Now, there are not a lot of games that do that, but only a few. In this case, I play a lot of Call of Duty, so that's why I use Ultimate, so I can have this covered up with FreeSync. All right, FreeSync, it works really good with HDR games to reduce input lag. This is the biggest reason about FreeSync. In this TV and the Xbox, they have FreeSync too. That is one of the main reasons, and also helps reduce screen tearing. So This is a really cool option if you're a gamer. Now over here, we're gonna go into HDMI UHD colors. This is where you select to turn on HDR. This is also very important. In this case, I have all of them are turned on. Just in case if I want to change HDMI port, I already know for sure that it's going to have HDR working. All right. Other than that, this is pretty much how to set up your TV with your Xbox. All right, Echo Solution, we have a lot of more details over here. Now, just in case if you want to have this menu as I have it, instead of white, mine is black with gray. We're gonna have to go into accessibilities. I think it is, yes. And right here, high contrast. Well, I have this one selected. If you unselect this one, this is what happens, right? I don't want this, this is too bright. So I have this one selected. It's much better for me. So this is just another option that I use, right? And that is it. So now we're gonna go into the Xbox menu. This is also very important, so let's go in here. Now on the Xbox menu, we're gonna go into settings, then display and sound and video out. Now this is going to be 4K UHD. You have different options over here. 1440p, yes, you can also select 1440p with this TV, not with any other TV. Only with this TV works this option. I'll show you how to get into that. But first, let's check out the 4K. Then refresh rate is going to be 60 Hz. Now 120 Hz only works with 1080p and 1440p options. So in this case, I'm working with 60 Hz. Now video modes over here, we have all this. Make sure you have everything selected. Now this is auto low latency mode. This is the one that works hand to hand with auto game mode on your TV. So this is why I was going to explain. Basically, when you're playing with your Xbox One X a video game, the game mode will switch on. But when you are outside a video game, let's say that you want to use your Xbox to watch a 4K movie or maybe content from Netflix, then you don't want to be using game mode. Maybe you want to be using movie mode instead. So this will detect that. It will switch to movie mode instead of using game mode all the time. So this is a very cool feature. Now allow variable refresh rate. This is FreeSync too. Now when you turn this one on, you're going to have that option on your TV as well. And like I said, FreeSync 2 is going to help to eliminate screen stuttering and tearing during gameplay, and also will reduce input lag when you're displaying in a game with HDR. So that is very cool. I also have this one selected, allow YCC 422. This is supported. Yeah, I have a video explaining about this, more about the YCC 422. This works good when you have HDR content. So I have this one selected too. And allow 4K, of course, allow HDR10. Now this TV, well actually this Xbox supports Dolby Vision for streaming services, but I can't select it because this TV doesn't support Dolby Vision. If you have a TV that supports that, maybe a TCL R6 or a VCOP series, also the Sony X900F, also the LG OLED TVs, you can select that option. All right, that's it for this right now. We're gonna go into 4K TV details. Over here, this is what you want to have. All the green check marks, well, of course, except for the Dolby Vision, right? But anything else, you want to have this, all the green check marks. Video modes, we already got this one, video fidelity. Over here, this is the settings that I have. These have worked pretty good for me. So I recommend you guys to have this one. 10-bit, 30-bit per pixel, overrides auto detect, recommended, and that's it. Now over here we're going to audio. Audio, we're going to have this one bitstream out. If you have a soundbar connected or maybe a surround sound receiver connected, you want to have bitstream out, and then you can select the format over here. In this case, I'm using DTS. For some reason, I feel like DTS works better. But this is going to be up to you, or you can use Dolby Digital. It's up to you, depending on what kind of system you have. So now, if you have a Dolby Atmos, either a soundbar or a receiver, you can select this right here, but just keep in mind that your Xbox has to be connected through the soundbar or through the receiver, and then from the receiver to your TV in order for you to use this one. Okay, the Dolby Atmos. Now there are some games that do support Dolby Atmos, like Gears of War 4, Assassin's Creed Origins, yeah, Assassin's Creed Origins, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. There's a few games that do support Dolby Atmos, but for the most part, it works great for movies. Alright guys, so if you want to use a 1440p resolution, all you have to do, we're going to go into Settings, Xbox, Display and Sound, Video Output, and over here in Display, we're going to change that 1440p. Now keep new refresh rate, automatically changes to 120 Hz of refresh rate. Now let's go over here into video mode. Make sure you unselect allow 4K, otherwise it's still going to be running 4K. So we're going to unselect this one, and that's it. Now let's check out the display. How is this running? And there it is, 2560 by 1440 with 120p. Now, the only benefit I see from this is that your input lag is reduced from 19 milliseconds to 10 milliseconds. So that is really good if you're very competitive. But on the downside is that you are going to lose HDR and of course the 4K resolution. So if you don't mind that, this is a great option, especially if you are more demanding into having the lowest input lag possible. So this is another great option. Alright guys, so now when we are here in this menu, if you want to see what kind of information you're getting, you can go into the home, open the menu from the TV, go to source, and then go to Xbox One, press enter, and you're going to have this window on top, and it says 3840 2160 FreeSync 59 Hz. That is the information that we're getting. Now if we jump into HDR, things are going to change a little bit. Before we do that, let me show you the settings that I'm using on this TV real quick. The picture settings, I'm sorry. So the picture settings, this is what I'm using. The backlight is all the way up to 40, brightness. These are my own personal settings if you guys want to try this one, but I always suggest to try the ones that works best for you. All right, so these are my own personal settings. Now when we change to an HDR content, things are going to change. So if you want to select HDR settings, we're going to jump into an HDR game now. Alright, so now we are into a game that supports HDR, and you're going to notice that things are going to change just a little bit. So now we're going to go and check, make sure that we have HDR. We're going to select this one, press enter, and it says right there 3840 2160 FreeSync plus HDR. So FreeSync does work with HDR even if you're using an HDMI cable. Make sure you use the cable that comes with your Xbox, and that's it. This is how you're going to get HDR. And then we're going to go into settings real quick, the picture settings. These are going to be my personal settings, and you notice the backlight, it jumps from 40, it jumped to 50. So these settings are going to be different than when you're playing with SDR. So this is how we have all my settings. These are my personal settings. You can change these depending on how you want them to be, but these are the ones that work best for me. You're welcome to try them, but I always recommend to work with the ones that look better for you. All right. So yeah, guys, that's it. This is the ultimate guide to set up your Xbox One X with your brand new 4K HDR TV. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I'm Jolster, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Jolster out.
Potential collapse detected. Advise relocation to indicated